What's good, everybody? This is S.Craft back again with another barber tutorial, and today we're going to do a high taper on Mr. Chris Loko. If you do not follow Chris on IG, make sure you look him up. Loko Blends, man, great character, great dude, and he has great content on his channel. I love Chris. So what we're doing is we're knocking everything down with the number 3. I'm going against the grain, and as the hair patterns change, I just change with them, making sure that I'm constantly going against the grain to have a good clean canvas so that we can start this high taper. Because we're doing a high taper, you've seen I started right at the corner of the ear and I went diagonal up towards the point of the C cup and just shaved that C cup off. And because I have my trimmers in my hand, I want to save time, so I'm just going to go ahead and edge up over the ear, hit that first guideline on the back as well. Usually I'll take the edge all the way around so that I can save time. However, I'm not going to do the full edge at the moment, simply because I'm recording a video, and the more I turn the chair, the more the camera gets out of focus. So just doing what we got to do. So as you can see though, I'm just creating that first guideline, kind of lining them up, preparing for the shaver. So now I broke out my shaver. That's the Babyliss FX shaver. Usually they come in silver. I noticed that they just came out with a gold one. However, the reflection kind of messes with my eyes, so I painted mine matte black. So after shaving, now I'm going to use my JRL 1040s. I love these clippers. I'm cutting a lot with them right now, and some people have been asking, how do you really use them? So what I do is basically I open up the half, or I open it up all the way, and I set my second guideline. Then I put on my 0 guard and I open it up all the way, and then I'll start closing it, working down. And usually whenever I use my JRLs, I just open the blade or close the blade unless I have no guard on there. Then I'll start doing some lever play to kind of knock the lines out. So there again, we created our bald line, shaved it, then opened up with no guard, and then began to kind of close that a little bit. Didn't do it all the way, still gonna have to get that line out. But then we went to the 0 guard, open, and then worked down a little bit to 0 closed. Now I have the 1.5 guard on there, and the 1.5 is open, and I'm just kind of flicking right into that 3, and then I'll close the 1.5 guard and move down and start working more in that dark area to get the line out. So now that I did that, I go to my 1, and I start with the 1 open, and then I'll go 1 close, just flicking at that line to remove the line that I'm working on right now. So once again, the process is I bald it out, and then I have open, no guard. Then I put a 0 guard on there, open, and I drop down a little bit after I set that guideline, and I close my 0 guard and start flicking at that line. Then I go to the 1.5 open, and then I work down a little bit, close it, and there I tie it all together in the middle with the number 1. Now I'm doing shear over comb work just to kind of blend that in a little bit better. I see little dark spots, I'll come in with shear over comb and just kind of hit little spots that I see, and just with the tips of my blade. So now coming back in, doing the detail work. Like I said, I really didn't close the blade fully, so I'm going back in now with the closed blade, just kind of flicking at the line that I see or any dark spots with the corner of my blade. And if you do not use the corner of the blade, you're missing out. Sometimes I'll turn my clippers completely sideways just to use the corner. As you can see, whenever I put that line in on the front edge there on the vertical bars, I didn't go all the way up, because sometimes whenever you go all the way up, you can take it back too far, or you can go too high. And whenever the edge is a little lighter up front, I like to kind of stop before I go up all the way until I can look at them from the front and really see where that's going to be. So there again, I went back in with an open blade in the back there, and I set a second guideline. Notice that guideline wasn't the the straightest, cleanest looking guideline, but it really doesn't matter because I'm going to take it out anyways. I like to usually set clean guidelines, but doesn't always have to be. Just know that you have a guideline in that area and start working at it. There again, I jumped right into my 0 guard. I went 0 open to create the next guideline, and then I closed it, dropping down, tying in the no guard to the 0 guard. Now I'm going into my 1.5 guard open, flicking it into the 3, and then I'll close it and kind of work on that dark line between those two transitions, between the half and the 1.5, or the 0 and the 1.5 rather, and then I'll pull out my number 1 and tie it all together. So that's how I've kind of been working with these JRLs. Open, no guard, open, 0 guard, close 0 guard, open 1.5 guard, closed 1.5 guard, and then I come back in with the 1 and tie it all together. For whatever reason, that just works for me. And today I wanted to give you guys some steps to work with. I know a lot of times some people get lost with the other technique that I have when it comes to fading down. So I figured I'd start from the bottom and work my way up, or work up and then meet in the middle. So if you have any questions, man, just drop a comment below, and I'll try my best to help out. But anyways, I believe I have my number 1 guard on there at this point, and I'm just working in that area to tie that 0 and that 1.5 together. And honestly, you don't even have to use the 1 guard. I'm doing this, more for sake of the video. But if you watch Squeak Pro Barber's Instagram stories and things like that, he'll show you, man, that he just uses 2 guards, 0 and 1.5. And man, he's killing it. And so I usually use that technique as well. It works pretty good, and it kind of saves time. But for sake of the video, I want to go ahead and use the number 1 as well. Also, I think it helps if you're using different clippers besides the JRLs. Then it kind of gives you steps to follow with different clippers. And a lot of times, man, people will say, hey, can you do a video doing this haircut with these certain clippers? And honestly, once you get a system down, it's the same really with any clipper. I mean, it's basically following the same steps. Once you have certain steps or a system in place that you use, that you like, you can pick up any pair of clippers and just use that system and just flow with it, I think sometimes we make it harder than what it really is. So once I kind of have my guidelines set and I'm blending everything together, I just come in and do detail work, I want to make sure that bottom line where I shaved it with the shaver and the edgers and all that, I want to make sure that's all blended together, and just any dark spots I see, that I take those out. So now, once again, I'm coming over the ear, just lining it up using the corner of my T-blade. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, I'm going to do the same thing on this side so you can just watch the steps. However, a lot of people have been asking me, man, what kind of trimmers are you using? And I'm going to put a video together on those, and I was actually thinking about modifying them and selling them, but the part that you need, it's hard to buy in bulk. So we'll see, but I'm probably going to record a video on how to modify those. But they're called Renpos, really cheap edgers, but man, they got so much power. And when you modify them and you put a wall detailer blade on it, but you also need a piece from the wall detailer, like an old wall detailer, to tie it all together to make it work. But they're the hardest hitting trimmers I've ever used, I think. Man, I'm in love with them because I love the cordless detailer, the detailer. I hate the cordless detailer, but basically I love the corded detailer, but wish they were cordless. And so I went ahead and I seen this little trimmer. Actually, somebody sent it to Bossio and it was crap. So I said, hey, can I use this? I want to see if I could modify these and put a wall detailer blade on there. And I did. And now they cut like, champs, man. I love them. So anyways, as you see, I did the same steps. I did the guideline. I balled out the guideline under the first guideline, and then went through the steps I had. So we ran out of battery on the camera, so I had to move to my cell phone, and we didn't catch it in time to basically record the whole video. So I went ahead and put an edge on it. I put a little half part in there, and now we're prepping his hair for the no drip, the Tomb 45 no drip spray that we apply with the airbrush. So that was alcohol I was putting on there. Notice I didn't just put the alcohol on the skin in front of the hair. I got in the hair and rubbed the scalp really well to make sure that we could apply it and it would stay. Because sometimes if you have oily skin, it'll kind of come right off after a day or two because it's stuck to the oil versus sticking to the skin. So we found the drier the skin is, free from oils, the better it sticks, and it will last. I got some customers that come in, a week and a half later and say, man, it's still there. So after cleaning the skin, I put the no drip inside of the airbrush, and notice I didn't mix it with anything. It's pre-mixed. Don't mix it with alcohol, don't mix it with water. You just shake it up and you pour it right into your airbrush, and the mixture is perfect. It flows perfectly with your Beam Team cordless compressor or with your airbrush. Now I'm coming in with the card, holding it up against the line to make sure we don't get the no drip on his skin, and as far as where the hair is not, and just spraying at an angle, and I'll hit it a couple times and I'll pull the card back and look. I might not have put all of that in the video, but as you can see, there's times if I see like spots where the darker part of the fade is, I'll kind of spray a little bit on that just to make that look darker and smoother. Come in, clean it up with the razor. I'm using the Tomb 45 razor there. You can find all the Tomb 45 products at tomb45.com. But just cleaning up that line, and it's coming together really nice, man, looking really smooth, I believe. Now this is so important. Between every cut, put alcohol in your machine and spray through just for a couple seconds so you can clean that out. Now I'm coming back in after I've sprayed my no drip on there. Then I come in and start cleaning it up once that's dried, and just touch up any little spots that I see. But this is pretty much the cut. I hope you guys like it. And hey, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that, man. It helps out so much. Anyways, God bless you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Peace.